Hello everyone, and welcome to another Injustice video. This time I'm going to be more focused on my hopes and dreams for the game. Because in the most recent gameplay we saw, it is confirmed that traits will be coming back. Batman will be having his bat trait that you can see in my previous video, where he summons the bats, and looks like they basically do the same thing. It charges up over time. You can get 3 when it's at max charge, or 2 or just 1 if you want to activate it faster. But speaking of traits, 2 of my favorite characters to play in this game were Nightwing and Wonder Woman, because they had traits that basically changed stances and really changed their abilities. So for example, Nightwing here would start off in his Eskrima, where he had the 2 sticks, but you could change to a staff by pressing the trait button, and basically you'd get different normals, obviously a lot longer reach. The trade-off would be mobility. He walks very slow, and his dash, you know, goes slow. Whereas when he was Eskrima, he could fly across the ground, and, you know, his big thing was controlling ground space, a lot like Wolverine does in the Marvel vs. Capcom, or just in general the Marvel superhero series. What was also neat about it is you could say start a combo in Eskrima and then switch to staff in the middle of it. You could special cancel the stance, or excuse me, the trait, and then you could go back to Eskrima at the end. There are certain specials that canceled, and it basically made Nightwing a lot of fun. So, I'm not sure if Nightwing will go back. I am very confident Wonder Woman will return. There is no guarantee, of course, that they will have the exact same traits, but it's certainly a hope of mine. I would love to see Nightwing again. I would love for him to have the same traits. I would definitely love him to be improved a little bit, like having a low starter in Eskrima would be great. Like maybe if stand 3 would go a little bit lower and count it as a low, that would be awesome to have that low starter. And then while in staff mode, like the Flying Grayson special, if it could have like a hit of armor just to go through a projectile so I could get in a little bit easier, that would be appreciated. And those 2 things I think would be, quite honestly, just give me everything I need to really play Nightwing to the best of his ability versus the entire cast. And of course you had the same thing with Wonder Woman. If you allow me a second to switch. There we go. She could, say, start in Lasso, but then switch to her sword stance. One of my favorite things to do if I got stuck in sword stance, because I usually didn't want to be in sword stance unless I was in the corner, I would say switch, special cancel, and then I could continue the combo like this. Get some nice damage too. Yeah, Wonder Woman hit like a truck, so that was pretty cool. But you know, same thing. I could start in Lasso, and like one of my favorite things to do is like get a knockdown, and I could dive bomb to the other side, and then I do a rising jump kick overhead, switch to the other side, uppercut, boom, back in sword. I can try to do this combo, anything. Basically, it's just really neat having all these options available using the stance cancels. Swipe, 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 uppercut, switch back, and then I could do my dive bomb setup again. That was really neat. Fast rise, lots of cool little tricks that I could do with those stance cancels. So, if Nightwing returns, and I'm very confident that Wonder Woman will, I certainly hope that we can see some of the cool stance cancel traits again. They were really, really fun. And like I said, these 2 characters were basically my 2 favorite to play. Not necessarily my 2 favorite characters, although Nightwing did end up being a close second because he had some hilarious clash floats. Dick Grayson is a snarky guy. I never did ever play the Damian Wayne version of Nightwing because I liked Dick's humor so much better. Plus, you get to make all the Dick jokes when you're playing Dick Grayson. But anyway, that's the first part of my hopes and dreams. I'm going to go ahead and switch characters. And if I can't do that within a single video, which I might be able to actually, so we'll see. Actually, it looks like this is going to work. So let me show you guys. This is my favorite DC character, period. Green Arrow. For all the reasons mentioned with Dick Grayson. Let's have him beat up on the Joker. It'll be fun.
The Joker.
Now, if Green Arrow comes back, which I certainly hope he does, he needs some work. Because the biggest thing with Green Arrow was he didn't get anything, be it with meter or with without his trait. So yeah, he could do stuff like that, and I might be able to connect that. I can't remember. Yeah, sure, like that. I spent 2 bars to get 23% damage. Please. But, like, you know, just say with normal juggles and everything, there really wasn't much he could do. You either had to have, like, the electric arrow to do cool stuff. Really, the most popular one was the ice arrow, because it really enabled a lot. And then you do like this, and you reload. Look at that, 33% damage, no bar. That's great, but I have to have an arrow loaded. You know, you can do little tricky things. That's an overhead when you shoot it like that. But again, it all revolved around having the arrow. So I'm really not sure what to do about his trait per se, but let me tell you about his super. This sucker's unblockable, and it was sick. It's allowed for resets, like I just did. And I missed the follow-up. But anyway, you could do that reset, and he was basically like the only character where going for super was actually preferred. Whereas most other character supers were like, oh, you could do the extra damage, and yeah, it's unclashable, but at the same time, it's 4 whole bars, and you could get 50% damage 1 bar with Wonder Woman. God, she comes close to meterless in a lot of ways, getting 50%. Batgirl could get over 50% for 1 bar. You know, doing super was not ideal in this game. So, definitely if they switch it down to 3 bars, I definitely couldn't tell that from the gameplay. I might not have just been looking close enough, but if they go down to 3 bars, I think that'd be better. Definitely would make supers a bit more viable. But as for old Green Arrow here, he was just so trait dependent that it wasn't really worth it. So I'm hoping they make him, like, the arrows he can shoot, just through specials, a little bit better. I think that would definitely make him more viable in the end. And, you know, we can get this nice little reset again. That'd be cool. Just because you could continue to follow it up. And if you wanted to just keep it unflashable, you could do 2 back 3s and get a nice 44%. Or if your opponent had already wasted Clash, you could, you know, get your unblockable. Followed up with this instead. Reload. And a nice 54% off of a super, which was pretty sick. You know, he had little things he could do with meter otherwise, like do this little quick unclashable cross up, and I'm really bad at meter burning this move. There we go. If I hit its sweet spot, yeah, I get 34%. And other than that, Green Arrow didn't have a lot of great strings. Like 113 was okay, I guess. Get back to overhead. You do into low arrow, or you could do sneaky things like if they block it, be like, oh, overhead arrow. Forward 2, down 1 was mid into low, and then 3 made an overhead. They could shoot a low arrow, or you could do double low, or you could do double overhead by canceling that, and like let's say they blocked it, then you could just boom, overhead arrow, and of course follow up with optimum damage, which is tricky sometimes, doing jump 3 into jump 2. Well, I was hitting it earlier. Apparently. There we go. And yeah, you could get some good corner damage too, like this. Whoops. And then you reload, or if you have like arrow, you can do this. Whoops. But I think you guys get the idea. So outside of being a corner monster, definitely would appreciate Green Arrow getting just a little bit more help. Like I said, I think just better arrow specials in general would do a lot. Having this nice unblockable super, I think, would be cool as well. A nice 45% damage setup into 44% unclashable. Yes, please. And then I could take fire arrows and zone for days. I mean, I can cover a lot of space, but just taking that time to reload, especially in a game like this that had super fast zoning, just really put Green Arrow at a huge disadvantage. So we'll see what happens with him, but that's kind of my hopes, that he'll get a little bit of help that way, and hopefully Wonder Woman gets her trait back where she can cancel stuff. And you know, I definitely would enjoy seeing Dick Grayson Nightwing return, but if not, I really do hope for Green Arrow. He is my favorite DC character. So those are just kind of my general hopes for right now. As we get more info about the game, and of course as more characters are revealed, if applicable, I'll come back to the first Injustice and talk a bit about said characters or things that are returning or things that are different in whatever way I can apply them. So anyway, thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.